Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Yeehaw Lads podcast, episode number 31. Our Christmas special last week seemed to do okay. Everybody seemed to enjoy it for the most part anyway.
Our viewers are gone.
You fucking...
Good start.
Marcus loves to mute us when we're talking
No, I was
beforehand.
muting myself.
And you always forget. Fucking-
Do you mean our viewers enjoyed it or
Oh,
us
nobody
in
watches
general?
this
Oh,
shit.
okay.
Yes.
That I was
Yeah.
gonna say, wow, we
no.
had viewership.
No, we don't have viewers. Are you
Well,
fucking,
besides Joanne. Hi, Joanne.
fucking crazy. but
Check the Spotify stats.
They're not good. They're, in fact, not good. Anyway, for the few people that do listen to this shit, this week we're going to talk about our final preps for the 2023-2024 Hangover run at the Badlands in Attica, Indiana.
Woot woot.
Yeah.
Since I'm a procrastinator, I started like 2 months ago. And of course, it's like today's Thursday. We're leaving Saturday. And we'll probably be ready. You know?
Cool.
You know,
Well, I have, all day tomorrow and Saturday off.
it doesn't need
So-
anything. It's just, it's fine.
Fair enough.
We'll talk about that.
So, well, when are you leaving? Saturday, like Saturday night? or-
Probably, I'm assuming.
That's
because
what I was just going to suggest. It's like,
maybe before dinner, then we can eat dinner on the road and then get there and just sleep.
well, you have to get there early enough
To
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 claim
check
the
in.
cabin,
Ooh, true.
which I think is at 4.
You didn't reserve it?
Yeah. Not
No,
yet,
you did. Well, you
Yes, but you have to get in there to check in.
you have to show up to like get the code and the key and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
either 4 or 5 when they close the doors for that.
Okay,
Is it
understandable.
the same one you got last year? like 2
Probably
years in a
not.
row?
No,
Probably
this
not.
this year
Oh.
we have, I think, only 7 or 8 people coming.
Oh,
damn.
Last year's
Holy
cabin
shit.
was for 12 people.
And most people are showing up on New Year's Day for just the day, which is
Which I'm
so
gonna
dumb.
ask them and see if we can do a one night, because I know like they kind of started doing that. I'm not sure since it's a holiday weekend if they'll do that.
Yeah,
But most people, it does seem like they only want one night. So I'm gonna call them tomorrow and then basically just figure out what cabin I
Explain it to
want.
'em.
Then tell you, hey, this is the cabin. Pay it because I don't have money.
We just pay it once we get there,
Oh, true.
which, yeah.
Yeah,
Either way,
Well, if you're only doing one night,
possibly.
possibly. Again,
that-
it
so
depends
you
how
coming
bad
back
Everybody
New Year's
else, everybody else thought it was only gonna be one night. Or sorry,
They thought it'd be the night of New Year's Eve and then the night of New Year's Day too. I think.
no.
No?
They all thought it was one night.
Oh.
Like that, well, okay. Steve, I think, doesn't care. Me and you are prepared for whatever.
Yeah.
The Wheeler family is 3, and then Kyle Mang.
right.
I believe that's it.
Yeah.
So
Because nobody else is staying
Mang
the
and the
night.
Wheelers both thought it was only one.
Mhm.
Like I said, we don't really care, and Steve,
Not
I don't
really.
think cares either. So
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Anything for Mike, or is he busy?
He's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna stay in the cabin.
Gotcha. I wasn't sure if he's coming for the day or what, because he's relatively
Yeah, no. It
close.
sounds like New Year's Day is where everybody's gonna come.
Understandable. I mean,
So that's Monday. Yeah. So yeah, I don't really know, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna figure that out tomorrow and see. I got to at least ask them and see, and then just say, hey, I'll reserve this, and then we'll pay when we get there and whatever.
right?
right. Yeah, I talked to Michael yesterday about it. He said he's unsure if he'll go or not. So
Gotcha.
we'll see. He's like, well, I don't know if I'll have Monday off. I'm like, it's New Year's Day. He's like, oh fuck yeah, you're right. I'll probably have it
Yeah.
off then.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
like, why would I take a random ass Monday off? This doesn't make any sense. I'm like,
Yeah.
You're using a vacation day for that.
yeah. I'm like, it's New Year's Day. Like you should have it off.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like,
Say,
right?
like, most places are closed.
he's like, huh. He's like, okay,
You're
maybe
right
I could.
about that.
So
Yeah.
I'll talk to him tomorrow and find out for sure what he's doing. But
Cool.
you want to jump into what you've been doing on the Jeep?
Yeah.
All
The
right.
Jeep is the only thing I've done for the last 3 weeks. I'll be honest. I haven't driven
Damn.
truck
Man,
basically
sound
at
bad.
all. I believe I left off. I had just welded in all of the panels and such and closed off the rear.
Correct.
After that, I believe I painted the rear quarters, as well as started building the tail lights. Yeah, so if you want to go to the rear quarter shot.
Will do. Let me open this up full screen.
Yeah. So this is with it bed lined and painted and done basically, except for all I had to do after this was paint the housings for the taillights and then wire those in. But yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I've seen worse.
I've seen a lot worse.
It turned out
Yeah.
pretty good, all
Yeah.
things considered.
So yeah, rough measuring on how wide a 14 bolt is and like the size of a tire roughly, I should be able to clear it no problem.
Well, with the
Like this current setup, it'll clear fine.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I didn't really have any problems.
I mean, the added width of a 1-ton axle plus, I'm assuming whatever wheel you'll run will be wider anyway.
Mhm.
You know, you'll get away from the body more and more.
Yeah. So yeah, realistically, the 14 bolt should be good. I I made a new list of all the things I need to do in order to do the ton swap, as well as I just kind of like did a rough step by step of what I need to do while doing it.
Yeah.
While doing the tons, just because I had tons of time. I'm like, I should.
He said it. He said it.
Damn, I didn't
funny.
even catch that.
He's so funny.
But yeah, so I made some progress there. Like I said, the rear is pretty much done now. If you want to go to the taillight picture, the taillights were interesting. I had to do a 4-wire to 5-wire converter because these are trailer. Yeah, these are trailer light setups. So I needed a combination stoplight and blinker on one single wire because each one of these bulbs in the factory Jeep taillight had their own wires. So I had a low beam and a high beam on separate wires, whereas the trailer, it needed basically 2 wires to go into one. So had to order on Amazon. I had to do 2 separate 5 to 4 converters. Finally got those all wired in. There's tons of extra wire inside the taillights. Ran it up through the body, plugged them in. They worked fine right off the bat, which was awesome.
They look pretty good in there, honestly.
Yeah,
those look very
like
nice.
you wouldn't know that it's some botched together trailer box.
Right.
Well, it's
welded
not
in.
really botched. He did it the right way.
Yeah, I'm honestly, out of all
Technically.
the body work and some of the fabrication work I've done on the Jeep, I'm really actually pretty proud of that.
Even Caitlin saw it like on your Snapchat, so she's like, "Wow, that is really clean."
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
One of the
Which, if you
least-
want to zoom in down lower, you can see this is a window blank it's hanging off the bumper.
Yeah, it's hard to
Oh,
zoom. It's hard to
also
zoom
my
to the
new
bottom.
license plate frame, thanks to Do It With Dan's Perfection Plasma, I believe. It's
Shout
a
out
plasma plasma cutting table. He made a business out of it with powder coating and stuff, and
Cool.
I, for some reason, bought the plate off it, and I kind of forgot I bought it. I originally bought it in chrome because I'm like, maybe chrome will look good, but it didn't like pop off enough in the.
I figured it'd just blend in.
Yeah, it pretty much did. So I took it down, bed lined it, and then I put a little piece of duct tape behind the cutout letters, which say sketchy AF, which with my driving in that Jeep, it definitely is. So. But yeah, the window blank, I had just painted it. I got it all stickered up. This was just this was as it was drying. I didn't get a picture of it finished. But it matches the other side of the Jeep, just stickered up window blank. It's the rear quarter windows are, just regular glass. So if they don't crack, they shatter.
Okay.
And yeah, a lot of people make window blanks or storage units on the side, and I just wanted something just to cover it up and kind of stiffen up the rear. That way it gives a little more strength and whatnot too.
Yeah, just cover up the open window hole from when they shatter.
Basically, yeah.
Makes sense.
Another thing is I finally took out the glass out of that other hatch I had.
Sure.
Somebody just made it an absolute pain in the ass. They put so much silicone
Silicone in
sealant
there.
on it to hold it in. I fought it for probably 2 hours. With
You
like
supposed to like heat them up and then string a wire through them.
So
and,
I didn't need the seal, so I cut the external part of the seal out. But there was so much
okay.
silicone still on
Holy
the inside of
shit.
the glass holding it in that it took me a half hour to cut out the seal and try not to like break the glass. Finally was able to get a rope through it. Broke the rope. I started off with wire because I'm like, maybe the wire, just like a kind of a farm wire, twist wire.
Yeah.
Started with that and it wasn't cutting it. It was, it's smooth.
Yeah.
Well,
Kind of melting
I was,
it almost.
I literally like stretched the wire and it snapped. You could see that it visibly got thinner as I was heating it up, pulling it back and forth, trying to saw it. Eventually switched to rope, and it took me another hour of using the rope to try to finally get it out.
So they make kits to like it's a cutting, wire. It's made for that.
It's
and
abrasive.
Even then, they still suck.
Yeah,
Like, they
it
don't
was
hold up.
a major pain in the ass. So, but I was originally quoted $175 to get the rear glass installed, which I'm still hesitant to even put rear glass in it, but I have the glass. So once I shatter this, then I'll just start putting plexiglass in it and call it good enough.
Yeah.
After that, if I ever really have ambitions, I'll put a new windshield in it as well, which I'm guarantee I'm going to have to give it to the local glass guy instead of like an auto or a safe light or something and be like, hey, I'll be your extra pair of hands. I know it's going to be a bitch. Charge me whatever you want. Give me an hourly rate or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Because it's
Oh wow.
you can kind of see the little yellow glob underneath the lower bar there.
it's stuck behind the cage. It'll only
Yeah.
fit in if you weasel it through this little gap through the
Yeah.
side. It's gonna be a real pain in the ass.
So yeah, like I said, I think I'm just going to have to give him a whole bunch of money and
Spend
but
the whole day.
realistically, it should be one and done.
You
I
should
shouldn't
just
have to do it
schedule
again.
it at Safelite and just drop it off.
I want to see that.
I will get a
reaction.
call at 7:01 a.m. and they'll be like, we have a problem. It's like,
Dude,
oh, really?
just-
I never would
Just
have
leave a
guessed.
GoPro
Wow.
running in the back and
Just come hang out with work because they're the
Oh,
building
yeah,
next
literally.
door.
Yeah, I'll drop it off at 6:45 and I'll walk back over at 6:05 when they're
walk
like, we
around.
can't
Like,
do fuck all
what the
of this.
fuck?
Yeah.
So is this your custom front bumper that you made?
Yeah, it is.
Cool.
I
It
also was bitched at enough I decided to, quote unquote, make a front bumper. I
That's something.
had the tube laying around. If you want to zoom in on the bracket, this bracket is held in by 3 bolts that bolt in through the frame. It's the factory bracket that holds on the front bumper as well. It is thin shit aluminum, but at the same time, I knew I wasn't going to really need this bumper to last all that long.
Yeah.
It's not going to break the bumper. The bumper is actually, I cranked the welder as high as it would possibly go off of the 110 that it runs on.
Which
Yeah.
is not really that high, honestly.
Yeah, but I welded the shit out of that. I gusseted it on either side of the kicker that goes out to these brackets that are on the frame, I guess, quote unquote frame.
yeah, the subframe.
Is that a screw holding your turn signal in the
Don't worry
front?
about
Yeah,
it.
it's a screw with a washer, yeah,
Don't worry
because the
about
tab
that.
is broken on the marker light, yeah.
Because somebody keeps breaking them off.
Yeah,
stuff.
somebody decided to just destroy his whole front end, which actually, I forgot about that. I did that, it'd be probably a month ago, is when I put the new grill in. The passenger side was so bent and screwed up that it was a Subaru. I parked the Subaru in front of it, grabbed a come along, and straightened the fender out to get all the
Pulled
mounting
it.
tabs to be like where they needed to be. I'm
somewhat
like,
close.
perfect. It works. I'm
Yeah.
basically an auto body guy now.
Mechanic.
Yeah, basically.
Big enough hammer, any body panel will move to where you want it.
Yeah.
For sure.
So yeah, I technically now have a single recovery point, aka the whole front bumper. All the soft shackles should be able to go around it, and I should be able to get yanked out if needed. And if that fails, then I will have them yank on the front axle, like
they
we've
can-
talked about before.
Can find literally
this.
anything else to hook to. Hook to the windshield bar for all it matters. I mean, it's
Literally.
like the cage isn't going to come off.
Yeah. My next bet was going to be the motor mount. I'm like, if you can rip the fucking engine out of this thing, then I'm leaving it here. I promise.
Yeah, I
you.
would go get an excavator and drag it out in pieces. I'm not too concerned.
Exactly. But yeah, so she's basically ready. Another thing I had to do was rebuild the old fuel cell I had because
Oh, you got that done, huh?
Well, I was hoping to get the parts I ordered and they did not come.
Same.
They should be here after the first of the year.
Conveniently.
The old fuel cell was an absolute piece of shit to try to put back together. Yeah, it just took a hell of a lot. Basically, I put like a half-inch chunk of steel in there in the bottom of the cell. Then the fuel pump is now under tension. Like, it has a spring inside of it. That way,
Yeah.
if it is a little bit different, the pump itself has to be under tension
Yes.
and then tightened. So that was a problem I ran into the last time I was trying to build it, was I didn't put anything under there, so it was just hanging there.
You're essentially
So it
providing
was
some
falling
up
in.
pressure.
Yeah, it was falling in. I can control the down pressure. I couldn't control if it fell in. So
Gotcha.
when I was trying to do this the first time and it kept falling in, I was pissed off. I just decided to leave a chunk of steel in there it'll be in there for a month maybe. It should be fine.
Yeah, whatever.
Everybody says that. It'll be a month. You're like, well, the pump still works, so I need to take it
Yeah.
apart.
Well, I also have the new fuel cell sitting in my house in my kitchen.
It's the best
So
place for
it
it.
wouldn't hurt to
Yeah.
like get that out and get it done. So
Yeah, fair. But I mean, that pump would last a couple of years. I
Oh,
mean, you don't-
also the new pump is like 10 times quieter. I don't need to make a shield over it anymore.
nice.
Like
Oh, good.
it is very quiet inside.
almost
now.
like the old pump that was dying was dying.
Well, the old pump technically, I mean, it was a used pump for sure, but
Yeah.
like
and maybe it was
the
like
reason it died, it was one like internal hose fell off of it
Mm-hmm.
technically because it was still getting pressure, but the hose was half off of the little like spout, I guess it needed to
The
be
nipple?
on. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
barb.
Yeah,
bless
so
Barb.
that's why it died originally. But yeah, this one
Everything
is
reminds me of Barb.
it is
It'd,
so
it'd be a
quiet
barbed
now.
nipple.
It's not barbed, but yes, it is a nipple.
It's dubbed.
Oh, so it's just a nipple.
It's ribbed.
It's just a ribbed nipple.
It's not pierced,
Oh.
Oh, sadly.
It's not goth.
Yeah, nope.
Damn.
The
what a
non-goth
shame.
nipple. Anyway,
God, I hate you guys. so
anyway,
much.
yeah.
Holy
So fuel
fuck.
cells in it. I also got a new pack out mount. I got the single base instead of the double wide base. I got the single one because I already had a single small box. This one I got an extra deep box. That way I can put all my spray cans and stuff inside.
Is it one
Oh,
of
nice.
these
Say,
fellas
I
right
need
here?
a
Yeah,
picture.
basically like that.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Let me pop this
Yeah,
up.
whereas the other one I had was basically twice as wide as that.
Mhm.
So I got another mount as well. Drilled through the floor, bolted it down. Now I have 2 boxes on the one side, 2 boxes on the other. I
Also-
have everything in there that I need, and as well as I space it out to where I could put that Pittsburgh socket set.
Yeah, the
Oh,
little
nice.
ratchet set.
I slid it in between both of them.
Oh,
like
cool.
it's almost tensioned to hold it a little bit better. So that shouldn't be a problem either. It should stay there pretty well.
So that
Nice.
stays still, like in the
Yeah,
super
it should not
still.
move hardly at all. Because I used to put the ratchet set behind the big box I had, but it would move back and forth. It didn't really have anywhere to go, but you could still hear it moving around. I tried to put like a sweatshirt and a tarp kind of in there just to tension it up against the cage or the pack out box. But yeah, I
That's cool.
figured I'd try to make that a little bit better, and it seems to be.
Okay,
working pretty
okay, yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense. I was trying to
that's the
picture like
single
how
base.
does that stay still? That
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
So
that's the
basically,
single
you
base.
set the box on there and you push it in.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then it has
it'll
a
lock
like vertical latch, so it's spring tension down. So
Yeah.
you slide it in, it latches down, and then you're set.
Ah.
So that's on the wall.
That's on the wall.
You
That's-
can see the one above it. That's
Okay,
kinda what it
wait
would
a minute.
look
I
like.
kind of want to do this with the garage.
You absolutely should.
They're very not.
If you-
cheap.
well,
that way-
I got to put drywall up first, but
You could do it to the studs. You're fine.
could I?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
there's enough spacing.
Fuck
and
drywall.
shit?
yeah, yeah.
just
The bigger one is probably 18 inches. Yeah. So
Oh,
it
shit,
should
that's
be able to span
perfect.
2 studs.
And fuck drywall.
Um,
Just put in fucking OBS sheeting.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, yeah, just
But no,
hypothetically.
honestly, if I were you, I would never bother buying a big like snap-on toolbox or like my big one in my garage.
yeah.
I would only buy pack outs. That way, if you ever
those,
need
yeah.
tools, you just
Pull them off the
unlatch
wall.
it, put it in the trunk of your car, and you have the exact same tools forever.
That's
That setup, you could I could fit my entire 72-inch long toolbox in
how
one.
much
of
is
those.
that?
$530.
I mainly want to do it just
That's
to
a
put like
lot
my
of
car
space.
detailing and like mountain biking shit in.
Well,
and get rid of that.
But you can
old
also
gross
do
shelf
like
I
the big,
have.
like the big bottom one. You can do your saw, your circular saw, and your
dude.
drill and your impact, like all little stuff in there. The next one up, you can do other stuff.
That work for the basement even. That's where we keep our tools.
Well, you can keep it in the garage. Once you get your Miata,
Well,
you start
yeah.
customizing it.
Well,
you
yeah,
need
when I
tools in the
get a
garage.
project car, yes. Right
But
now
yeah.
it's house projects.
Yeah, no, I would buy. I mean, you have your cabinets out there. That used to be in the kitchen. You have those. You can put all your detailing
Yes.
stuff in there. And if
Yeah.
you need more, I would just buy a single cabinet. But like as far as actual tools and stuff, I would just buy pack outs or
You can just
whatever
take 'em
brand
ready
you
to-
want.
yeah.
There's Ryobi Link and DeWalt, whatever
Get-
the fuck.
Just get the pack out ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
whatever
probably
you
just do
want.
pack- I'll just get whatever you guys get, really.
Mhm.
I'm gonna
It's
buy
it's great.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
here's the mounting plates. The
Yeah.
ones that you actually want.
Yeah, I
wall.
have the big one I
These-
have is the ORA. You
Ooh.
can see the
Okay.
double one. I have that one. I need another single one.
Nice.
I mean, out of steel. The Milwaukee's
smaller
are
ones.
plastic and they're not nearly as beefy
Yeah.
at all.
These are
Oh, okay.
Those
These
are
are
like
way
made
nicer.
to be beat the fuck out
Yeah.
of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody,
nice.
all the off-roaders who have pack outs and mounts, they all run these mounts.
Yeah.
Which this is a
Off-road-
partnership of the Total Off-Road Podcast.
Yeah, Off-Road Anonymous.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, super
That's
nice.
awesome.
Super nice stuff.
Yeah.
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 I'm waiting for work to get me a work truck, and then I'm gonna
That's fucking
move
awesome.
to
Yeah,
all
pack
pack
outs.
outs.
pack outs are
I'm so
sick.
tired of carrying around bags and having
Yep.
It's just
12 bags for
But-
everything.
Just
But
make
well,
the
I used to
Subaru
have-
a work vehicle. Have
It
Shaw buy you out.
basically, yeah, Shaw ain't gonna buy me out.
But wait, there's more. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck,
The
that
cups.
picture's low ass quality.
Oh my
Good
God.
Lord.
Have you never looked into any of the Milwaukee pack out stuff, Nick?
No. Oh,
No, I haven't. No.
Oh, you
Yeah.
should.
Dude,
I
it's
made
so
I've seen
sick.
something similar from DeWalt, but like,
my
not
landlord has the little cup set.
Yeah, like these guys.
Yeah.
No, not the like the actual
Like a-
in
like
the
a
pack
mug?
outs. No, not like
Pint cups.
little removable cups.
Oh, trays.
Oh,
and
yes.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
trays.
Like bolt bin,
yeah.
like cups.
He
Yeah,
has
yeah.
those. He had me 3D print little dividers for him
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
just slip
I
right
have
in there.
a
and
ton of
they're
those because
held
all
tension
my
in.
pack outs I use, I don't really use
You don't
any of
use 'em.
those. So I have a ton of them.
Yeah, they make.
but
There's
yeah.
literally everything you can think of.
Yeah.
There's an accessory for.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeti style cups
Mhm.
with a pack out mount bottom to where you can put it literally on top of the pack outs themselves, or they make their own mounts for them as
Who
well.
had it at Hangover? Somebody, was it Mang who had it at Hangover
Yeah.
Run?
Yep.
And he had his coffee cup like mounted to the front of his
Mhm.
Jeep
Oh, yeah.
while he was moving. He's like,
Yep.
that's not going nowhere.
Oh yeah, it'll ride there forever. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They make coolers. They make radios. Anything, literally anything you could think
Mhm.
of, you can pack out. It's crazy.
pack out radio.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they have a whole radio.
Like,
set.
I know-
Meng was using it. Meng had his
Yeah. I
at
don't know if-
Hangover Run when we were hanging out eating next to his truck.
Oh, that yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a pack out radio. There it is.
Oh yeah, that was inside too when we
Mhm.
were
Yeah.
done for the night.
Yes,
yeah, okay.
yes, it was. He brought it inside and we were playing music off of it.
Shit
Yeah.
sounded good. I was
Mhm.
actually
It's-
really impressed.
It's actually
So
a
instead
super
of the
nice
Yeti
radio.
cup, it should be a Milwaukee Packout cup, and it'll be locked in.
Yeah.
You're ready to go.
Sick.
Damn,
Yeah.
I should have put it on my CapEx report for this year.
Your
Toolbox.
You did what to a cat?
CapEx, capital expenses.
Yeah, like cap it.
I don't work corporate. I'm sorry. I
Neither
don't.
do I.
My
It took me
expenses
like
are like
3 months to figure that out.
I'm like, hey, like, buy me this. He's like, okay, and that's just how it works. Like, hey, I need argon. He's like, okay, truck will be
Small
here Thursday.
company perks.
Yeah, yeah. When I get to bully the boss, great stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'll say as far as those things,
Is that the most of what you
let me
have
double
to
check
offer?
my list.
Because I mean,
Oh, here we go.
has anything
Here we
changed
go.
for your merch?
Oh yes, my quote unquote sound bar.
What
Yeah.
the fuck?
So
Man, I
have...
thought you meant your house.
No,
No.
no, absolutely not. No.
So much dumber.
yes, correct.
Picturing the heater just fucking ripping in the
Your
background.
pack out thing's in there.
Ah, yeah, you can
Yeah,
see it.
yeah, you can see my
Oh,
one
nice.
mount. That was before I did the other one. But yeah, so this is my
Yeah, walk-
makeshift sound bar.
Walk us through this.
I
Kyle?
reused the factory speakers. I had a
Might
ton
as well.
They're
of
probably ass anyway.
yeah, they are.
something.
They're almost dead as well.
Thought so.
I actually found out the reason my front door speakers don't work is because they're not there. I
All right,
I told you this.
I understand. Yeah.
I didn't remember, and I don't know, but I literally, I had to take off the front door panel. This is the first time I ever had the door skins off of either one of the doors.
Yeah.
The passenger side door wouldn't open after the last trip I went on, so I was like, I should probably look into the latch system. I think one of the rods are bent or popped off, maybe. I don't really know. Popped the door skin off, looked at it. I'm like, oh hey, that's the reason the speakers doesn't work. Popped some of the sheet metal out of the door still. I messed with some of the latches. One of the there was just a little tab that connects to where it's just a push button on the outside of the door, where that pushes out a plunger. With a plunger, the tab that it hits was just bent a little too far. Because what happened was I hit a tree and it just pushed the button in so far that it bent it back. So I just popped a little cover off the side of it, bent the tab back, tried it again, now it works. So.
Cool.
But yeah, while I was in there, I was like, oh, that's why. There's literally just no door speaker in the whole door.
Mechanic.
So
Does this picture do you any good to explain it, or is this different?
no,
That's a rear door anyway, but
yeah.
never mind.
Either way, don't
Either
have
way.
any speakers in the door. So oh well, don't really
You
care.
don't
I have
really
two in the
need-
rear, and if I'm probably eventually just going to upgrade those two speakers because the wiring to them works perfectly fine. The speakers are just shit.
Or
Yeah.
hear me out. Milwaukee Packout Radio. You already have
From
the
all the way
Packouts.
in the back.
Honestly.
Ugh.
Well,
They're
but
already all the way in the back. What do you
the thing.
mean?
Do they make a little remote for it?
You just turn up and down your phone. It's Bluetooth.
Yeah, yeah.
Just leave the radio
me
up
as
and turn your
well.
phone up and down.
Fuck, that ain't
Yeah.
bad.
Realistically, I could also wire these speakers into a plug to probably plug into the
There-
back of the pack out.
there's
So I'll have
something.
extra like external speakers.
More speaker.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's got the amps to drive that. You'd have to put
Probably
a separate
not.
4
So
channel
Yeah,
there.
maybe.
because that pack out radio, is it just on a rechargeable battery?
Yeah.
Or do you have to
Yes.
put like those big ass
No.
D ones?
It's got a built-in
No,
rechargeable.
it uses the 18 volts.
It's
the
probably
big
overall,
impact
it's probably better if you just put a pack out radio instead of buying batteries for like a Bluetooth transmitter.
Let's go.
I don't know. I bet the
go.
Milwaukee Packout radio is probably $250, whereas
When Kyle shows up, we'll just put it in the back of your Jeep, see how it sounds.
Yeah, see, that's not.
that's fair.
You know,
Yeah.
you just mount it on top of all your other Packouts. Then you
Yeah.
got
I guess that would be a
surround
pretty
sound.
convenient portable radio as well.
Right.
But I already made this sound bar. I had all this
You
extra.
sure-
I had
you
all
sure
this
did.
1x1 angle iron sitting around.
Believe it or not, you could have just not done this.
How?
Big
Just by
true.
not doing it.
I mean,
Well, I did
it's-
though.
you have an angle grinder. Yes, just cut it out.
Oh yeah, angle grinder and well, no, it bolts in.
Yeah, it fits perfectly.
Yeah, I
unfortunately.
have I reused the two rear seatbelt holes. They're Torx head bolts, and they're already up in like on the roof line basically. It fits in perfectly. And then I have the two little middle tabs where the old holes I used. There was basically a plastic sound bar that used to be in there. I used to have a dome light and the two speakers. Well, the plastic broke after the last trip. That's what made me think. I'm like, I should just mount the speakers to some steel, bolt it into these bolt holes I was already using, as well as the factory
I guess.
seatbelt holes, and it worked good enough.
You should just get a sound bar out of like a home theater. Just put like a fucking
what I
40-inch
thought you
Vizio bar
meant.
up
Yeah.
on
Well,
the dash.
I could also do
It'd be so sick.
like razors and side by sides and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
they
those-
have side, but they're also
then
expensive.
it's razor tags.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not only that, but they're also marine grade, so they're all fucking waterproof.
you should probably
and
have
shit.
marine grade.
I
honestly.
would, with your back
Probably.
window being.
Would
I
you
mean,
Winter.
it's under the roof, so it doesn't really get water unless it comes up from the bottom. Which
I don't know.
splashing it
Knowing
that
you, you
hard-
got some water in some places you didn't
could-
think you were going to.
It's possible, yes. It's just unlikely.
Remember
I
that
hope,
pond?
God forbid, I hope there's not deep enough water to where it hits
I
the
mean,
roof.
It's been
you'll
raining for like
find
2
it.
weeks. I mean,
It's been in my garage. It hasn't been outside
No,
really.
but at the
yeah.
park, it'll be
Oh,
Everybody's
yeah.
soaking wet and it's like snowing right now.
But with my fantastic welding job in my rear quarter area, it should be perfectly dry,
yeah,
and
you
I
can see the
shouldn't have
inside
a
of it
problem.
now.
Yeah.
It looks honestly not that bad for shit ass body work.
Yeah.
I have seen a lot worse on stuff that's a lot nicer.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't go super far into the wheel well because I accidentally cut out a little bit too much.
Hit a fill
So I
in a
kind of like I'm tacking
it.
in old shitty It's the steel I
Chrysler.
put in is great. The Chrysler steel I'm welding to
It's
is
not.
just fucking terrible. It's not even because it's rust. It's just so goddamn thin.
Meanwhile, compare that to the welds on the cage. Fucking butter.
Correct. Just don't look where the
Just
feet
look
are welded.
here and then look there and then compare it to like that.
Yeah,
Icky.
don't look at that. But
Is that
it's
seam seal or is
stuck.
that weld?
No, that's seam sealer.
Okay, I'm saying,
Yeah,
oh,
no,
that's-
I could not. I would have to have gone over that weld 20 times.
I would say
to get it
there's
that fucking
not,
thick.
not enough sheet metal there to
No,
put
there
that
is
much
not.
weld. That's
Absolutely
why I'm like,
not at
it's
all.
got to be seam sealer.
Yeah, yeah. Not to mention I'm welding in it, and it's just like the weld's hot, so it's just burning all the seam sealer, smoking
It's
out
smoking
the
like
fucking garage.
crazy.
Yeah, you can see my portable heater cranking away.
I said that earlier, yeah.
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 Does yours have the sticker on top that changes color once it gets hot?
No, it has a sticker on it. Maybe I've never noticed.
There's a little black circle
Yeah.
about 1 inch in diameter, maybe an inch and a half.
Yeah.
Once it gets hot enough that you can't touch it, it'll fade to color and you can see.
Oh,
like it'll
shit,
have like
maybe.
a don't touch logo on it.
Well, so it is temperature controlled. You can set it to a temperature.
Yeah.
Once it hits it, it shuts off.
Right.
Which I know it does that. I've never had it get too hot.
Not like an overheating too hot, just like if you would touch it, you'd probably
Oh
burn your
yeah, like
hand.
the outer. Okay,
Oh,
okay.
Because
I
Michael's
gotcha.
got one. His is propane and electric.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
diesel or kerosene, whatever
I
you're
gotcha,
using.
yep.
His is a little black sticker. And it was like half, like you could see half the sticker and the other half was still
Yeah.
black.
Yeah.
He's like, this thing's fading already. It's like a fucking week old. I'm like,
Yeah.
hold on. Like, what if it's just smarter than us? He's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's a temperature
temp
yeah.
sensor.
as it gets hotter, the sticker starts to fade in, so you can see the like "Don't Touch" logo.
Yeah.
Super
Neat.
cool.
That makes sense. Yeah,
yeah.
I'll say you can kind of almost see a little white speck on the top of it there, but
Zoom in and
I don't
just
honestly-
pixelate the shit out of it.
yeah, I don't honestly know if it is or not.
It
I'll have
probably-
to look at it next time. Yeah.
If you go home and it's just a black circle there, it probably
I
is.
want to say it is. Yeah, it might.
I
be.
think it's. I don't know if it's the same brand, but his is also yellow, so
Yeah.
it could be.
probably. Yeah.
Fucking sick as hell.
Just looks
Well,
like a
yeah.
horny dog.
Huh?
I don't get
The
it.
Red Rocket.
Okay.
I got it. I just wished I hadn't heard it. I was
I'd
over.
like to go home now.
Nothing's stopping you, brother.
Yeah. I'll say that's basically everything I've done to the Jeep. I've had way too like. Oh yeah, I did this in like 3 hours, probably
This
like
little
start to
soundbar
finish.
project, yeah.
I'm like, cool. Now I have 8 more hours today and all the rest of the week to do nothing. So
unemployed
that's
life
why.
is
That's why I
wild.
did this
That's
You being bored with shit.
with
sitting
a
in the
welder and a
shop.
grinder and
And a-
speakers that need mounted.
and a
I'm like,
dream.
sure, why not?
So you're saying
Yeah.
unemployed people that do drugs could do this instead?
Yeah, but I'm also that person.
Let's go.
Damn, that's crazy. I know.
So much better. Honestly, no, that'll probably work okay. I mean,
Yeah.
cheap speakers are cheap speakers. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Any sound is better than nothing.
I'll say, like I said, I figured if these are kind of already half going
I'll
out.
say maybe now they won't cut in and out as bad since you have like wiring hooked to them properly
Yeah.
and they're not falling off the fucking ceiling.
Correct. Also, I figured, I could go to Walmart and buy $100 Kenwood speakers.
I
and they'd
have
be-
2 speakers sitting in the back of Subaru.
I'll say usually right around like Christmas time right now ish, you can get a head unit and 4 speakers for $100.
Oh,
They have like
yeah.
a combo box.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Usually it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I wouldn't hurt to put a head unit in that too. That way I don't have to have a
That's-
Bluetooth adapter and everything too.
It would be better quality.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
Even if it's like a
It should work for now.
shitty dual one from Walmart.
Oh yeah, dual or they have the Kenwoods.
Hey man, they're cheap and they work.
No, they do. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
work. Yeah, it's
What
better than stock.
ethnicities can you say that about? Next week. Yeah, maybe not.
Oh shit.
Okay, so it sounds like you got a pretty good amount of stuff done.
Yeah, I
So
was.
do you have anything left to do, or is that all?
No, I was gonna take it on a test run day after Christmas. I think was my plan.
Kwanzaa?
I don't know.
Tuesday.
Tuesday. I was planning to do it Tuesday. I had a what I thought was strep at the time. I stayed home Christmas Day and the next, just because I thought I had strep. Turns out it wasn't. I went to the doctor and it was
You're just gay.
negative. I'm like, okay, fair, maybe. I don't know.
Got the coronavirus.
I mean, I can
So-
relate. Michael was sick last week. Mom's sick right now.
I wasn't even sick. I just had a sore
Well,
throat.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
what
I was,
meant.
and,
It's that
and I was
time of
also
year.
specifically told by somebody who I was with. They're like, I have strep throat.
He was making
I'm
mouth
like,
babies
okay,
with him.
kind of. But I was like, all right,
Gross.
fair enough. I'll take your word for it because I'm starting to feel a little tickle in my throat.
There's like, hey, you should get tested. You're like,
Did she
It's
have a little
strep.
tickle in her throat too?
A very
He,
small
okay.
tickle, you're right. Yes, correct.
Yes.
But yeah, so I was specifically told I would have strep. Went to the doctor. They're like, you don't have it. I'm like, why the fuck does my throat hurt so bad then?
Why do I feel like shit all
Yeah,
the time?
like for 2 days, my throat kind of was tickling, and then Christmas Day, and then the day after, it like hurt like a motherfucker in the
Having,
morning
like,
and at
sinus
night.
drainage
No.
or something? Oh, really?
I mean, I've been outside every day too, so like I kind of have that as well.
You'll get like
yeah.
a cold weather cold almost. Where it's
Yeah.
like if you're like
But
when you're
for-
working outside, you're just like in a t-shirt doing stuff.
yeah.
And it's like your body's like, hey man,
Asking
I know
for
you're
it.
not freezing, but you can't
Yeah.
do this.
But yeah, like I would understand if my sinuses were going too, but it's literally just my throat. I have no other symptoms at all.
That's literally
I'm
how I am.
super fucking tired in the morning, but that's
Yeah.
I was just relaying that to my sleep schedule being fucked up.
Yeah.
But I think it might
Yeah.
also be like sickness, but like no other
I
signs.
usually just call that depression.
Oh, I've had
bless.
that too, but I know that
He's
that
used to
well.
that.
It's real
Yeah.
seasonal depression
different.
hours.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, no, I've got a tiny bit of a sore throat for the past 2 days, but I've also been spool welding aluminum for the past 2
Oh,
days,
oh.
which is nasty and
Lovely.
smokes like crazy. So I'm gonna chalk it up to that
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
'cause I feel more or less
Just
fine.
what's that? Metal toxicity.
Heavy metal toxicity. Yeah, aluminum's a light metal, so it's fine.
That's just me.
I don't
got
think
the
that's how that works,
And
but
we've got our fume extractor running on it. It's fucking that thing makes such a difference.
oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure. How are the filters on that thing? Just fucking black.
It's an 18-inch canister filter essentially. It's
Oh,
like
that's
18 by
right.
like 20. They're $300 a piece.
Oof.
And I blew it out when we got it, and I haven't looked at it, so it's probably fine. I don't know how long they last.
If it's better than it is without it, then
It's
yeah,
better.
it's still
then it's
doing a
doing
job.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's making plenty of pressure and pulling the fumes out.
Sweet.
Spool gun welding aluminum fucking sucks. I hate every bit of it. Every minute of it sucks.
Just have the new kid do it.
He can't do it. I can't do it. Nobody wants to do it. I'm the only one that can make it work.
Yeah.
Because long story short, I'm welding really thick aluminum, which means I need a ton of heat because aluminum dissipates heat really, really quickly.
Yeah.
So I'm welding like 3/4 inch plate to 1/2 inch wall tubing.
Oof.
God damn.
Normally, if I was welding like MIG, I'd run like 21, 22 volts for like relatively heavy stuff. This I'm running at 27 because if I go hotter, I'll just melt the gun.
Yeah.
Like, if you never once in a while you'll go to MIG weld like pop instead of lighting. If it does that, it melts the copper contact tip about 1/4 inch.
Wow.
It just disintegrates it.
Yeah, I believe
it's
that.
Right.
Once you get over like 26 volts, so
You're basically
With-
ionizing it.
when you run MIG welding, you run a combination gas that's 75% argon, 25% CO2. That's your standard. Once you get over about 80-85% argon capacity, you can switch to what's called spray transfer, where the material doesn't need to touch in order for it to arc. So you run over 26 volts and over 85%, it will literally like distance arc. It doesn't need to touch it like normal. Normal's called short circuit. So it will get so hot it will just melt the air in between it and dissolve this copper contact tip all over the place.
So how many have you burned through?
We buy them in packs of 25.
Oh shit.
I am almost at the bottom of it. They
Oh, fuck.
literally, and there's no rhyme or reason. You just like go to light, click
Yeah.
it, and it'll just pop, and you're just like, well, that's melted. You,
Cool. Tip off.
well,
or, yeah.
and of course,
nozzle off. tip
everything's
off.
so fucking hot because
Oh,
you
yeah.
just,
Yeah,
lit
'cause
it
you've
with
been welding
27
all day.
volts.
Oh no, my
So you're like-
15-minute breaks up.
So you're trying to
I
like take it off without melting
melted
your hand.
another tip.
Yep.
Yeah, there's one down there. It's melted like it's a ball of copper at the end of it. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Because the new kid's like, I've been kind of showing him stuff and whatever, and he's like, "Have you been welding aluminum?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I have been welding stainless with the TIG." I'm like, "I'll show you what aluminum does." So I fire up the aluminum TIG. Do any of you know what that sounds like?
Oh yes.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like
It
it's not a high pitched whine. It's a very like electrical like
It's a like
it's a
200
zap
hertz.
sound. Whatever your
Yeah.
typical zap sound you think is, it's that.
It's a
Yeah.
like it is an ear piercing rattling noise.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Oh, have you been doing aluminum?" I'm like, "No, stainless." Like, here's aluminum. And he's like, "Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's
you
awful."
know. Yeah, you know the sound immediately.
It will echo through the entire shop back
Yeah.
and forth.
Yeah. It sounds like somebody's on the operating table and they're like using like a die grinder saw and they're cutting through bone.
inside your skull.
Yeah.
It's fucking. It is so loud. And
It's like when you go to the dentist and they get the little air.
Yeah,
tools
basically.
out.
imagine that, but it's like a lower frequency. It's
Yeah.
like vibrating the
Yeah.
air. It's brutal. Well, I guess all frequencies are vibrating the air, but it's neither here nor there. But
Mathematics.
Feel it.
yeah, it is fucking so annoying. It's
got
one
some
of the
thump
worst
to it.
sounds.
Fuck.
And that's like our welder's only a 200 amp TIG. Like when like Brad was working up at the nuke plants, they'd have guys with like 800 amp machines.
Right.
He's like, you would hear them in the parking lot. You could feel them in the ground. It's
I
so
bet.
because aluminum dissipates so much heat that you have to crank an absolute ton into it. And aluminum, the easiest way to explain it is it doesn't want to be welded. It hates being welded. It's actively trying to stop you from welding it all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like you're constantly fighting it, adding heat, trying to do stuff, and it's always dirty. It's always nasty. Like welding steel is so much easier. Stainless is like the smoothest, butteriest stuff.
Yeah.
Steel's pretty easy. Aluminum fucking sucks. So I've been doing it all week, breathing that in. So that's probably why I'm like half sick and, you know,
Gross.
icky.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah,
You'll have that on them big jobs.
correct.
Yeah.
Speaking of big jobs,
Yeah, let's
I
get
was
on
gonna
to
say, how
you and your
we've
truck.
been.
much have
you
We'll
done?
start with the trailer because I finished that.
What did you have left? To mount the box?
So
No, you mounted the
no,
box.
the box was already mounted. So
Oh, your dividers, right?
Oh.
this is the toolbox on the front of the trailer. I added this rubber pad into the bottom of it. It actually fits relatively well.
To say that
I'd
looks
say
like it
it's
was almost
pretty fucking
made
good.
for it.
It's these corners are just a little bit short. I cut it on our metal shear, like our big
Oh, that's
fucking one.
why it fits. Christ
It
sake.
fit.
yeah.
It's so nice. You could just like
Yeah, you don't like. Yeah, you're not gonna angle grind it or like.
I used a
my,
jigsaw before, and it
Yeah.
like
Ugh,
fucking tears
fuck
it up
that.
and bounces.
Absolutely screw that.
I'm like, will this work, or will it just like stretch it all weird? And I just like put a corner in there. It's like clink, like perfect square, nice crisp edge.
Well, we
I'm
did
like,
that with my road signs that
Yeah.
have the vinyl on top of them too. When we were doing the ambulance camper,
front, yeah.
it's like it just doesn't give a shit at all,
Yeah,
and it
it's-
cuts the sticker, the vinyl of it perfectly too. I'm like,
Yeah.
I want one of these so bad, but
Yeah.
it's like 20 grand.
It's probably more than that. Yeah, that one's 1/4 inch plate at 10 foot wide. It's
Yeah.
fucking. It is so nice. So I'm cutting 1/2 inch rubber, and it's just idling past it.
Oh,
Doesn't
yeah.
even care.
Yeah.
So I snapped that up. That actually went in there pretty nice and easy. It kind of snaps into place because I left it a little bit long. Works out pretty good. Then I'm like, so we talked about the dividers a couple weeks ago. They're
Yeah.
book bends or whatever. So I went and started cutting those up to put in there.
Did you paint them or did you?
They
Or
were-
you ordered them black?
I ordered them black.
Ah, okay.
That fits fucking perfect.
So there's 5 in here. You can put them in 2 at a time, but you cannot put all 5 together because they'll hit like the latch and stuff. So they won't.
Oh,
you can't
okay.
lock them in. Because if you look closely, you can see this bar overhangs them a little bit.
Yeah.
So they kind of like go down and like lock in almost. Like they fit very good. Throw a screw in each one to kind of tie them together. That way it's rigid.
Yeah.
And through one screw in the bottom of each side so they don't slide around. Like they fit in there so nice. Everything's so like it fits just so nice. I could not ask for better.
That works and looks
I did
so fucking
browse
good.
the local Rural King for tongue boxes for my trailer because I'm also sick of having my shit just
Your one wedge
scattered
box
everywhere.
just completely full.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was thinking about that too. I'm like, I really should just. I would probably only do like two organizers for like my ratchet straps, and then like all my binders and chain and stuff would go over in the other half
Yeah,
of it.
leave it loose on the other half. Yeah, you could do 3 or 4. You know, they come in.
But
a
at
pack
least
of
having
6.
some sort of some sort of organization, or at least trying to, then it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, there's just another picture of it from the angle. You can see how they kind of fit in there.
hell yeah.
And here's them with some stuff in it. So I just put the loose ends of the ratchets here.
Oh, yeah.
Both ratchets there, some axle tie downs. And it comes in a pack of 6. So I just took the 6th one and set it in there. So I have a parts bin wherever
Yeah,
I
so
go
if you,
now.
in case you have, in case
Nice.
you need something else
For whatever
Or
reason.
well, you go to tear
And you
some
know
apart,
where it
you
is.
yank that out real quick.
Yeah,
and
I'm just like,
here you
oh,
go.
hey, like I know this is in here. I can still put stuff in there because it's still just sitting there.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, parts bin, grab that out. Here you go. Use it for whatever. Fill it with oil. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like if it's garbage, throw it away. Like,
Yeah. Oh, it was $2 on Amazon.
yeah, I think the whole kit was like $30 for 6 of them or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like,
Nice.
yeah, and they overlap, snap together, and I put screws in them so they're nice and rigid. Like it's actually turned out pretty nice.
Hot damn.
Sweet.
And then
Great idea.
this guy is something that everybody who has a trailer needs.
It's an electric.
It's called a plug guard.
Oh yeah,
You can
yeah.
put
My bad.
your trailer plug up into it to hold it. Because every trailer ever, there's just a loose cord
Yeah.
stuffed underneath something, dragging on the ground. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
these are literally unbeatable. They're like $10.
Are they
Yeah.
magnetic or is it like a mic clip almost?
It's the same way it clips into the truck. There's a hinge with like a latch on it. As it pops up, it clips into it.
Oh,
Yeah.
But yeah, they're like $10. They're fucking always worth it.
nice.
You just put 2 bolts into something, and it's all you have somewhere for it to go. Instead of just leaving it lay down, or if someone borrows it, they know exactly. They can even an untrained random can.
I thought you got super fancy and put a battery in this, and that you had a had an electric jack. I'm like,
Like an
wow,
auxiliary?
really?
No, I
thought that was like just the
balling.
mounted button
I
for
could
it, and that
see
was
that,
the wire
yeah.
going to the jack. I'm
Yeah.
you fancy bitch.
Yeah, no, I do not like electric jacks. It's so much extra work for something that you just turn it. Like
Yeah.
it's fine. If you're unhooking and rehooking every day, then maybe. But like for something that's gonna.
Well, I
sit
watched
6
Mang
months
use
at a
his,
time,
and I was like, damn, that's kind of nice.
it is. I mean, it would be nice to have,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
but I'm not too worried about
Yeah,
it.
not needed. I was browsing 44-foot goosenecks
40 foes.
because I don't
tipping?
know what the fuck I want to do with my whole life, but I'm like, damn, you know what would fit on a 44-foot gooseneck?
A
lot of shit.
43-foot gooseneck.
You're right. But also, my current ambulance camper in the configuration it's in,
Mm-hmm.
the Mustang, and the Jeep.
That's a lot of fucking
That's a
weight
lot
to
of
tow.
weight. Yeah.
No, it wouldn't.
21,000 pounds.
That wouldn't all fit, would it?
Yeah. The camper is 15 end to end.
Mm-hmm.
The Mustang is 16.
So that's 31.
Yes. The Jeep front,
Here we
the
go.
Jeep
Just like hold on.
the Jeep front bumper to the rear axle is less than that.
Oh,
Is
you're doing-
less-
yeah,
yeah. So
with
I
the Jeep
have
hanging
I have
off.
the whole rear bumper hanging off the trailer, but technically it's still legal because
Until-
you'll need 4 feet.
Until
hang
good
off
sir, you
to,
stretch the Jeep 4 inches, then it does not fit anymore.
True, but also, but okay,
And you're also gonna be bumping
that's
the Jeep up.
that
against
is
the
with
Mustang.
the wedge on the camper still. If I redo that and just panel it straight, follow the arch,
Yeah, you have to
flat,
put it
and then
up
go
against the
straight up against
gooseneck.
it, I gain 3 feet. So
Or well,
that'll
no,
take
you
plenty.
just flip your ambulance around the other way.
No, because then the doors are up against the gooseneck. You can't open it.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, I could use. In a pinch, I could do that.
You can use the side door, but that's,
yeah.
when
Well,
it's
that's all I use though.
yeah, but when it's
But yeah.
almost the same width as the trailer, using a side door is kind of sketchy. Where yours is still relatively low.
Yeah.
A deck over gooseneck, you're up, 3.5 foot off the ground.
Well, no, it's gonna be a drive over fender.
Fine, whatever, man.
So you're putting a
But yeah.
gooseneck on a Ford Raptor.
Yes.
No,
Two
no,
Ford
I'm probably
Raptors.
just gonna keep my truck
Two
at this
Ford
point.
Raptors.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably the right call, honestly.
Yeah. Well,
Just deal with it for now. We
You-
sold the
you-
Harley.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
That-
saying I could just get a steel body truck.
Right.
I'm like, fuck. Like I don't even want to go through the hassle of finding another,
Yeah.
especially another diesel.
And that's why I said it. I'm like, that is the simplest option to get rid of that payment and still keep a good, reliable truck.
Yeah.
Kind of. But
Right.
you're trading a nice loaded Lariat that you already have. You already got the good deal on it. You already
Yeah.
have it deleted and tinted and stuff. Well,
Yeah.
not-
Realistically, I think I'm gonna try to get the Mustang done this year, and basically,
You have 3 days for that.
2024,
God,
you
motherfucker.
jackass.
joke of the year. Fucking
God,
this guy.
uh,
I need a fucking bell so I can
gonna
just
try to get the
ding
Mustang done and start really testing it
within
and-
the next year.
yeah, within the next year, and
Like
try
that
to get it
better.
kind of dialed in, but like by the middle of the year, that way I can
Yeah.
try to do some sort of drag week or something, as well as
Or just drive it.
well that,
That
too.
too, yeah.
But yeah, I want to try to do that possibly this year, and that way I can basically drive it, enjoy it, and then get fucking rid of it.
Yeah.
And then put a lot of money to a lot of other places.
And then you can also sell it as a reliable car
Yes.
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
a car that needs work.
You'll get a lot
Exactly.
more money
Right.
out of it.
yeah, I'm thinking by the time I'm done with it, I'll have another $5,000 in it, which I'm kind of debating about just doing a personal loan and just being done with like. There's a lot of just little things that I want to put more money to. It's like if I just had it all,
If you just had
and finished it all,
Yeah, if you
it'd
just had
be-
$8,000 cash right now, you could finish a bunch of little
yes,
things instead of
absolutely.
well, I need a loan on this and then some on that.
Just
and
go
borrow
ask my
some
mom
money.
to work a new lot.
I have nothing but time right now. I will do anything for money.
Anything?
Kind of.
I know
yeah.
someone's house that needs cleaned.
Oh, yours?
I guess, yeah. I mean,
Fuck.
yeah.
I actually,
What's that supposed
I
to
offered.
mean?
No,
My house
I,
is not that dirty.
I was like, I'm not opposed to that. My sister actually offered. She's like, I'll pay you $100 to go clean my She wanted me to like clean her garage and like do stuff out in the yard. I'm like, maybe.
Clean Nick's garage, clean my house.
It's funny that you mentioned this because
Guys, I've been at home doing nothing for weeks now. You could have mentioned it.
well, we drove to pick up my car getting worked on, this morning, and Caitlin said, "Well, I actually had a bit of a list. I was thinking of hiring Andy to do something, so he has some money."
She said something about sanding the door. I'm like, dude, I've done nothing for weeks. I'm going insane in my house.
Sanding, painting the door, some with our garage.
Fuck it, just
one or
come-
two things in our
Fuck it,
basement.
we
I
ball.
just said, "Fuck it, that's fine."
Yeah.
Just apply for the on-air talent at work. They're looking for
It's
somebody.
something.
Well, I did talk to the Ritchie Brothers guy today because I still haven't gotten paid from that week. So I'm like, that'd be cool.
Probably should
if I
work on that.
got paid.
Yeah.
And while I was on the phone with him, I'm like, hey, like just double checking. I know like Christmas is here. You guys just got done with your sale. I understand that's been busy. I'm just double checking with you that if you want me, I can be another yard worker.
Oh, they
whatever
want
need.
you.
He said. He said
I'm
so.
sorry. I'm sick.
said
I
he
cannot
did.
be held liable for what I say.
So yeah, but he told me, he's like, I'll talk to you next week, or he told me to call him when I get something in the mail, double checking basically like W-2 information or something.
W.
But yeah, he said he's gonna mail something today, so it should be here next week. He said once you get that, call me again, and we can talk about hours and this and that, and double check and try.
And
to
then
find
it'll
your
be
spot,
next
so.
year instead of like, hey, work for 2 days at the end of the year.
Yeah,
you
it would.
know?
Like I said, I was not really expecting to work. Like basically, my first week would have been this in between Christmas and New Year's week. I'm like,
Which
it's
is-
not even worth me doing that.
That's a week that even if you show up to work, you're
Yeah,
not. getting
nobody.
anything
Yeah,
done.
nobody's
It's
doing
just-
anything.
It's just not bad.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'll wait, and I told him, I'm like, just so you know, I still am on the out of work list. So if I do get called, I can't even give you like a,
It might be
a separation.
a couple hour notice.
Yeah,
like,
I'll tell you when I get the call. You will know within the hour,
Yeah.
and that's that.
as soon as I know something, you'll know something.
Which
basically,
90% of the time, if you get called out to work, it's the next day you start, unless you get called on a Friday and you start on Monday. But that's usually
rare.
that lucky. So
All right.
yes.
so yeah, but he seemed to be okay with that. He kind of understood, so it's nice.
Cool. All
Yeah,
right.
so
very
hopefully
nice.
that's something.
Well, speaking of work and stuff, we'll go into what I've been
Yeah.
doing on the truck. So last we covered,
You get your box done.
we'd finished up the cooling fan
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
because that was before we went to Dave's. So we were working on the
so
cooling fan.
we talked about that on
Yeah.
the Christmas episode.
We
when
like
we went to
mentioned it
Dave.
real quick,
Okay,
but yeah, we didn't get into it
Yes.
for that reason. So we were messing with the cooling fan and stuff. We'd gotten that pretty much done. We were going to test it, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I realized like the next day why that was. And
Why?
we're dumb.
Is there
Well, duh.
It's-
inline fuse or something?
It's a ground triggered relay,
Oh,
and we were tapping on the positive to try to light it.
God fucking
And
damn
I'm like,
it.
man, that makes a lot of sense. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. So there's a bypass wire, which is like a loose green wire for the air conditioning circuit. So if you turn on the AC, it'll kick the fan on half speed. I'm like, okay. Like, I don't have air conditioning, so I just left that loose, bundled up in the other wires. So if for some reason the fan relay stops working, I can just hot wire that in and leave it running. So Michael and I were messing with it, and we took the temp sensor plug out, put the wire in there, and ran it. I'm like, damn, like this thing moves a good amount of air. I'm like, it doesn't seem like it's going as fast as I want it to, though. I'm like, I wonder if that was before I knew the green wire was half speed. So I'm like, man, I'm like, I thought it'd be better than this. Switch it from the green wire to the purple wire. Fucker moves air. You can feel it pulling through the radiator from like 2 foot away.
Holy shit.
It fucking
Like wanted to
ripped.
pull the truck forward.
Not quite that bad, but like I would be afraid to put my hand anywhere near that fan. It fucking moves air.
Hell yeah.
Like down and through the radiator, you can feel it
Holy
pulling
shit.
air. So that's awesome. I'm really glad
that's
that
fucking impressive.
it shows what a good shroud and a good fan will do. It actually channels the air through it. Like,
Yeah.
so that actually works. We didn't fuck that up.
Yeah.
I kind of cleaned up all the wiring, zip tied the loose ends up, so that's done. Then after, no, dog, get out the closet.
Dog.
Mute me real quick. Okay. Brother. Come on.
Oh, we're all muted.
Yeah, damn. We got some editing to
Okay.
do.
Yeah.
Oh, here he comes. Never mind. He's
Technical difficulties.
Stinky dog.
back. What are you doing?
No.
I'm watching my sister's dog right now, and he's
What's
just
the asshole doing?
he's just bored. He's a Shiba Inu, so he's just like
He's
looking
just
around,
walking
and
around
smelling
like,
stuff.
damn, we all really just sitting in the room, huh?
Pretty much. He's like, I should be asleep right now. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But anyway, so cooling fan's done. That works good. I haven't tested the temp sensor because I had to get it up to temp
yeah.
to do that. I'll worry
Yeah.
about that later. So then now, first thing I did, I got a bunch of pictures, so we'll go through most of those. I'll kind of explain as we're going. First things first is tie rods.
Yes.
Have to
I
get
saw
those
you
all
weld
welded
them.
up?
Yes.
Ooh.
They were all colorful, yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Showing
These
us.
are my Oh, it's zooming weird. Oh, it's because of super high def picture because I'm crazy like that. So these are my front tie rods and drag link.
Who did you get these through again?
These came from
Rough Stuff?
Rough Stuff.
Okay.
Yes.
I believe I looked at this same kit, or one for a Super Duty axle,
Yeah.
because I was kind of starting to price out
This
how
is,
much all my stuff was going to cost.
This is the under the knuckle Y-Link 1-ton GM kit.
Okay, yeah.
For if you're doing a Super Duty axle, you'll have springs. So you want to do a crossover, not an under the knuckle.
Mm-hmm.
So the difference
Well,
is,
there's also Barnes sells high steer
yeah.
that weld onto the knuckles as well, so you can do whatever. There's a
Yeah,
ton
there's
of
a-
options.
When you don't have leaf springs in the way, you have
Yes.
a million options.
Yeah. So I was kind of looking at doing something, but I guess I could get the steering from Barnes as well. I was just kind of getting a rough idea of how much it was all going to cost.
Yeah.
I think
My kit was like
yeah.
$375 plus tax and shipping or whatever. And it's 1.5 tubing, is it quarter-inch wall? Yeah, 1.5 tube, quarter-inch wall DOM drawn over mandrel
yeah,
instead of
it's-
HREW, hot roll electric weld.
Gotcha.
So on standard tubing, there's a seam where it's welded. DOM is one pure piece that's basically pressed into shape instead of folded and welded, I guess.
Yeah,
it
so
stronger.
my
way
steering
stronger.
parts with it's going to be just hard parts, no hydraulic parts. Was going to be $600, but that also comes, like I said, it's got basically it's a bracket that welds on to the knuckles.
Yeah, I'll pull up a high steer picture just
Yeah.
for because it's interesting.
Barnes high steer knuckle bracket.
High steer Dana 60.
Yeah.
They're all basically the same.
Yeah. Well, they don't bolt on top of the knuckle, like they're not machined on it. These are weld on.
So it should go to the Barnes
to the
one.
right, to the right. Look,
Scrolling down.
lower
Hold
right.
on. Trying to scroll. It's being weird.
Yeah.
Lower
Lower right.
right.
That's exactly what it
This
is.
guy?
Yes.
Can we pull that up full screen?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Yeah, so you use the factory hole where the
Nice.
steering bolts into, but like the actual steel, like where Barnes is machined out of, that welds on to the knuckle, and then you can see the two smaller bolts on the inside of it.
Dang.
Those would be holding your tie rod
Linkages.
ends.
Yeah. So it gets it away from the bottom of the axle where rocks and stuff will bounce off of it.
Yeah, this should
Gets
be
up higher.
I
out
mean,
of the way.
super
realistically,
smart
your,
and
your
way
links are
stronger.
going to be 4 inches taller than what they would normally be.
Yeah, because comparing to this, mine start down here.
Yes.
His can come out straight right here. And you switch to Heim joints instead of ball joints, which is generally nicer.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Yeah. I would do that if I didn't have leaf springs in the fucking way, but I do.
understandable.
Yeah.
If you have
Well,
leaf-
you're gonna buy a cheap set of coilovers at some point, and then you can do
when I
all
do-
your fancy stuff.
If I'm doing coilovers, I'm putting a Super 60 in there. I'm not coilovering a fucking stock Dana.
understandable.
Yeah. Hypothetically. Let's go back to some
But yeah.
some pictures. Oh, I need to stop sending fucking 200 megapixel pictures because they do not load very nicely. There it is, just laid out on the bench. The ends kind of roughly screwed in.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see like my drag link hooks into the tie rod.
Yes.
Where if you went to a crossover style or a high steer, these are now separate pieces.
Yeah.
So the problem with my old steering was when you would push the tie rod, it would roll back and forth really aggressively.
They basically flip.
Yeah. Where when you have crossover steering, all the weight or all the force gets transferred through the knuckle instead of through the tie rod.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird to explain, but
Yeah. It is
Nonetheless.
hard to explain, but
when you see it, you're like, wow, that's fucked up. And I'm like,
basically these
yeah.
two things they fight each other. Whereas if they were separate links, they would be more efficient.
Yeah, they're both working on the same knuckle, kind of. So diff cover came from Motobuilt. It's 3/8 outer ring, 1/4 plate center. There's some markings here on the side because it hits my leaf spring bracket.
Oh, fuck.
Because it's a generic Dana 60 diff cover. Well, there's a lot of Dana 60s. They use the same center section for fronts, for rears, for coil springs, for leaf springs. So it just barely hits on these marks here. You could see all I did was just notch it out around this. I just sanded it.
that's not that
even
bad.
No,
Yeah,
it
okay.
barely touched it. I mean, it wasn't
I
anything
gotcha.
like.
You didn't even really notch it. You just kind of sanded it down.
Yeah, I just made like one cutoff wheel width and just kind of tapered it out nice. It worked pretty good, all things
Oh, that's
considered.
not bad.
Gotcha.
Here's all my stuff generally mocked up in the truck. Fun fact: you can see I took off the Motobuilt logo. It's tagged. Well, let me go
was
back.
Not
It's tacked
well
on there
done.
kind of like ass.
That yeah.
You can see it's just
understandable.
loose tack welds, and I'm like, if I had to sand it down, you just lost your logo privileges.
Yeah.
So that you can see the tie rods connecting these. Drag link comes from the box down, pushes on that. That's what steers it. Go to the next one. So this is my cross member.
Yes.
My cross member is in the fucking way. There's no two ways to put it.
Yes.
So originally I was going to mount the ram to the top of the cover here to push on the tie rod. This is directly in line with that, so that won't work.
Yeah.
So I decided, okay, I'll mount it to the side of the cover down here.
Yeah, the other kind of flat face
Yeah,
there.
it mount basically right on
That,
this
I have
edge.
seen that done a lot.
That's very common. The problem is if I go up to full bump, it will hit that still.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I kind of see it. Is this a mark or is that a cut?
It's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. I started cutting it. I'm like, I need to take a picture first so I can explain this.
Okay.
So this is the cross member on the front of the truck. The motor mounts are right here on the back side of it.
Yes.
So this is kind of integral, structural,
Yeah.
kind of
I'm
important.
assuming you're just gonna
both sides of the front together.
Yeah, kind of. It's like a foot wide, like a foot deep, the way you're looking at it right now.
Yeah.
So it's very strong.
I'm assuming you're just gonna plate the bottom to strengthen it again.
Wouldn't you love to know? So here's me cutting it off.
Dear Lord.
You can see how much
that's
more
a
room
hell
there
of
is
a lot
now.
more room in
go
that
back and
whole
forth.
area now.
So this is like it's right here, like lined up like the midpoint of the cover,
Yeah.
The bottom of it.
and
yeah.
all of a sudden it's
Dear
over the top.
Yeah,
of
you
it.
made 6 inches of room in a place that didn't have any to
in a
start.
place that there was none.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So here, I took a piece of angle iron. It's like I think it's 1.5 by 3. Cut it
Oh,
in there,
okay.
welded it up in there.
I thought you were going to box the bottom of it to strengthen it. I didn't.
It's a very weird shaped
Yeah.
thing.
Yes, it is.
So I put this on the face of it, left a 1/4 inch at the bottom, so I had somewhere nice to weld, and then welded down the sides. So that way it would hold it kind of up and in.
Yeah.
So this side piece goes all the way down and around, and this just sticks up over the empty space.
Yes.
hypothetically.
Yeah.
Well,
It makes sense. Yeah. That.
It's weird to like word it out, but when you
Yeah.
see it, you're like, oh, that makes a ton of sense.
I gotcha.
Because it's a folded lip, and this follows it all the way around. The angle sticks out. It's weird, but it's kind of what I had to do to get that much more room there. Because it just
I mean, that should be a absolute crap ton of room.
Oh, it's way more.
Did you Google or did you search in the
Nobody-
truck group or anything? Anybody
nobody
talk
does
about
this.
it? Do they sell an aftermarket like engine cradle?
if they do, it's probably expensive. And
Yeah,
it's
I
a
just
lot of
didn't.
work.
To get an idea of it, I didn't know if anybody had made
shape-wise
one or
and
not.
layout.
Well, you could see it here. Like it wraps all the way down around, comes down way over here, has the
Yeah, it's huge.
the lower link member on it there. Like it's a gigantic piece, and it's not worth replacing. It's gonna be really fun if I have to pull this engine because this blocks the oil pan.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to like either cut that back out or like cut the oil pan in half. I'm not sure yet.
Doesn't it unbolt?
Yeah,
cradle?
but I can't. Technically, it's riveted.
Oh,
in.
oh. Yeah.
So I might have to do that. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, I don't blow this engine.
Drill the
anytime
fucking
soon.
rivets out and put in bolts.
Yeah.
True.
While I'm at it, talking about cutting stuff out, there's this bracket here on the leaf spring.
Yeah.
This sticks out about 2 inches. You can see from the shadow it's casting. That's also in the way. So just like everything else, it gets cut right the fuck out of the way.
Yep.
Oh, look at that factory fucking finish.
That was a sawzall and a lot of abuse. That blade.
You did that with a
smoked-
sawzall?
Yes.
Oh, damn.
The blade smoked for like 10 minutes. And
Man.
it's not happy.
What kind of
Melt-
blade did you use?
Like a Hercules fucking Harbor Freight brand blade.
Oh, yeah. You
I
gotta
didn't
get
have a
those
Diablo
rescue
carbide
blades, man.
fucking super blade.
Diablos or Milwaukee's are the way to go.
Yeah, honestly.
Actually, I saw it at Home Depot when I was looking for pack outs. They put Diablo blades in the Milwaukee section. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
this. I understand why you did this because it is red. It is a white blade with red packaging, but it's not the same brand.
But it's like-
they're actually the highest competitor. But oh well,
But
I'll leave it.
Milwaukee makes the nicest sawzall. And
Yeah.
Diablo just happens to make the nicest blades.
Yeah.
It's like the Milwaukee blades are good, but they're just not. They're not a fucking carbide tipped Diablo super blade.
Yeah.
So you can see more about this cross member. Like, see how deep it is.
Yeah.
It's some weird ass goofy shape.
Yeah,
thing,
there's
like-
really no reason for that lip to be as big as it is.
no. Well, that's where the factory high pressure or the factory power steering cooler mounted, which was
Oh,
just
okay.
tubing in a loop.
Yeah.
And they're like, that'll do it, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Probably.
Like it will for a stock truck.
Yeah.
This thing would not do it. So there's the diff cover with the
Your tab.
hydro steer mounted or
Yep.
hydro steer tab welded to it. I just plasma cut these at work and like welded them. Like I cut these on Christmas Eve at like 9:30.
Nice.
So I'm just like, I got shit to do.
Yeah.
Mom's like, hey, no working in the shop on Christmas, and I'm like, hey,
Fight me.
So
no.
does it count if I see midnight of the on the 24th? Is
Yeah.
that technically
Right.
Christmas?
Is that cheating or no?
You got to test out all the tools you got for Christmas.
But yeah, so welded those on. This is technically Christmas Day now when I'm doing all this stuff. Yeah, I would have been because I burned it out the night before. So it fits down into this lip flat. That way it's got side bracing and
Yes.
height. It actually welded pretty nice and easy. Everything was still flat after I did it, which was what I was kind of worried about, it flexing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, that 3/8 ring's plenty sturdy. Here is the tie rod with the addition of the hydro steel. I'm having a fucking stroke.
Goodness.
The hydro assist steering mount.
Yeah.
See where this is at? At the
Very end of.
literally the last possible inch on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could not go anywhere else. This is with the steering cylinder as short as it could possibly be. Is at the very end of this.
Damn.
Like, I don't know if I keep getting lucky or if I'm just really good at planning ahead, but every single thing I've made on this truck fits by the smallest portion possible. Like, the rear diff doesn't hit the fuel tank by like a 1/4 inch. This all barely misses. Like,
Aim small, miss small is kind of the motto, honestly.
It's just a little bit of both, because I've seen you work, and your mind works kind of the same.
you could see it smoking and fucking.
Well, no, but you think 3-dimensionally when you're working
You might not
on
be
stuff.
you might not be actively thinking like, and I do the same thing. I might not actively be thinking about this, say this corner of whatever I'm working on, but I've seen it. So when I'm like, as I'm approaching that,
Yeah.
I will
You're
remember back and be like,
visualizing it.
I remember there was something to do with this.
Yeah,
And then you're gonna pull that little bit of extra information in your brain
all the time.
A lot of people don't have that, and I love watching that happen because they are just fucking clueless and stupid.
Yeah, like they'll weld this on and be like, oh, it hits this now. It's like, I
Yeah.
already cut that out fucking 2 days ago, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do it all the time. I'll like drive over to my parents' house, work for 10 minutes, stare at something for an hour, like look at everything around it, then go home and just think about it.
Yeah, your
while-
brain just basically like 3D map shit.
Yeah, I'm just like, okay, this fits there. If I do this, then that, and this. It's like, that's how we cut out that cross member. It's like, well, it's in the way. It's like, what
Cut
if it
it.
wasn't? You know?
Yeah. No, I think that would be.
Imagine.
How thick was that angle you put into that?
It's either 3/16 or 1/4. And
That's
the stock
probably-
flange
yeah,
is
it's
like 10
not-
gauge.
Yeah,
so
so it did not look that thin or that thick.
yeah, it's not
so
anything crazy, but
I think you'd be all right.
it's thicker than the stock crossmember flange was anyway.
Yeah.
All the tabs for the hydro are 1/4 inch.
I think you'll be plenty fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Hell, you might even have got more frame rigidity out of it.
probably. So that's that. Here's the ram just kind of floating around in there.
Okay.
See how much more room there is here now?
Yeah.
Yeah. The bump stops are about a hand width off the leaf spring.
So you don't even have your hydraulic fittings coming out of the ram yet. So
no, this was like just kind of lining stuff up, seeing
Yeah.
where everything could go. Like, I'd welded that on the diff, kind of threw some bolts in it just to see where it was going to end up at. You can see it now with the tie rod thrown back in there. You can see the ram's nice and flat and straight, not fucking pitched at some crazy angle. Here's it hooked to both brackets.
okay.
It's hard to tell from pictures how little room there is, but it is so tight. Like,
Yeah.
this bracket almost hits the spring U-bolts.
Yeah.
If it was anywhere other than where it's at right now, it would definitely hit them. If it was moved, because as the wheels turn, the tie rod moves in and out. So as it cycles, it happens to go wide just around those bolts and then tighten up right after them.
Jesus.
Where if it was moved like a 1/4 inch closer, it would be moving in as it's in
Yeah.
line with the bolts and hit them. Like I said, I don't know if I'm lucky or autistic, but I think it's both.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Sometimes we'll take that.
Michael decided to polish one
I was gonna say,
fender.
why does the door look so bad?
That's what the whole truck looks like.
yeah.
Michael's just like, this thing will shine up. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to do it. He's like, it will look
So he
good.
did the one fender, and that's all.
He
I'm
did this,
assuming?
and he's like, that's so much fucking work.
yeah.
Ergo,
Steel.
why you
Congrats!
didn't
Now
do
you
it?
have 3/4 of the rest of the truck to do. Get after
I'm
it.
like, do the
'Cause
rest
now
of
it looks
it.
like shit.
He's like, I don't want to. I'm like, good, don't. I don't care. Whatever. Don't. You have to like, I don't want you to polish the truck. Stop.
Yeah,
Did you
don't
just
do
use
that.
the
Stop.
That's
razzle
enough.
dazzle?
No, that was steel wool. There's no clear coat on this truck.
I didn't know if it was
No.
I didn't know if there was enough like
So how much paint
ceramic
dust came
inside
out?
of that
Everything,
detailer and
everything
stuff.
changed. All the towels changed color.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
You take steel wool and like some spray water and just scrub it, and then we used some Meguiar's like cutting compound to burn the edge in because there is no clear coat.
Yeah,
This truck was originally black, so I don't know why it's even red or orange or whatever
it's
fucking
got to
color
be
this
orange.
is.
Yeah,
You could see like
You
everything
can see
else.
it in the door, like the orange.
Yeah, yeah. This looks orange. This looks red. They're the same paint.
Yeah.
The bead locks are actually orange.
yeah, true.
Diff cover with some paint on it. We painted these last night. You see my lawnmower with no hood?
Cool.
We finally ordered a
Race
hood
mower.
for it.
Oh, I thought it finally just broke every other mount off of it.
Oh,
It's
it
like,
does.
okay,
It did.
we've given up.
Your dad finally broke down and bought one.
Michael ordered it. I don't know if
Oh.
I'm
Because that mower
it's been
baler wire
abused.
holding it together, zip ties holding it together,
The
a whole
hood-
bunch of other shit holding it together.
The hoods are notoriously bad at cracking on
Oh
these.
yeah, they're horrible.
Nobody knows why, but they will just break in half down the middle. So now that we're gonna like blow snow with it, it probably makes sense to have like a hood on it.
Yeah.
You see the snowblower right there. Wow, look
Might-
how many things
might
you can
help.
see.
Wow.
Wow.
Crazy.
So painted that. Okay, so here is all of the hoses and shit to make this thing actually turn.
Yes.
So this is the the Saginaw pump instead of the stock C pump. The C pumps are notoriously dog shit and they boil over all the time. What the dog doing?
Saying hi.
Open up on us.
He's probably just bored.
I'm still not touching them.
That's fine. So I had to get these hoses made. I went to Martin Equipment to get these hoses. I had to get 3 hoses made. The main pump feed to the box.
Yep.
The box return to the cooler, and the cooler returning to the pump.
Yep.
The ones down here are the ones that came with the power steering cylinder and box that I got from Dave. They were just a little bit long, so we cut one shorter, but
Okay.
these are field serviceable fittings.
Oh, nice.
See how it's like this is a
Yes.
hex and an inner hex?
Yes.
These are crimped lines.
Yeah. So they're one and done.
Yes. They're also way overkill.
Oh yeah.
Like Martin Equipment is our John Deere dealer.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I need hoses made. Okay. These hoses are 5,000 PSI rated.
Holy
Wow.
shit.
They are
That's the average
Yeah.
small. Like
Christ.
like to get. I think they make 2,000 psi hose as well.
Yeah.
But it's like most places won't even carry it because they don't even want to give somebody the possibility of going over that.
Yeah.
They'd rather give them a better hose.
Yeah, and then
Which is
also not
fair.
have to carry the inventory of smaller stuff. The only other place that I know who carries 2,000 psi hose is
Where's that?
Illinois Truck and Rental across.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Morris. It's across the street from
Yeah.
Ritchie Brothers, basically.
Yeah, because having those lines blow is not fun.
Not good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I've changed out plenty on machines and shit. It's ridiculous.
yeah. So the main pump is a 45-degree fitting that goes behind the steering column. Because if I 90'd, it would run right into the rag joint.
Yep.
The return line is a funny story. So the return line is just a like hose barb fitting onto the end of the box.
That's kind of what it looked like. Yeah.
Basically no pressure. So I'm telling the guy, I'm like, it doesn't need to be a full braided line. It can be just whatever. He's like, oh, I'll give you a non-braided, it'll be softer, flex better, whatever. It's still 1,000 PSI rated hose. So
Fuck it.
It's still
What is the pump? What does the pump make? 500?
I think on a good day, a brand new pump makes like 1,600
Oh.
or some. I've seen people say that number. I don't know if that's true. Or
Yeah,
not.
I get- but this is still a
1,600 on a
return, though.
return line.
Yeah,
No,
this is
you're
still
never
a
gonna
return,
get
though.
the
close
return
to
line
that.
is like if it hits 100, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's if something's bound up. Well, it's still 1,000 PSI line, which is great. Other than it doesn't flex over the barb at all because it's 1,000 PSI
Fuck.
Yeah.
of hose.
Understandable.
If the hose flexed easy outward, it wouldn't hold that much
Yeah.
pressure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's just it's a 3/8 hose. There's a little barb on the pump. We tried for probably 20 minutes and could not get it on the pump.
Wow.
It is the right size hose.
Did you don't dish soap it?
We were wiping grease on it. We were hitting it with
fuck.
the heat gun, trying to soften it up. Like it would not fit.
Hot damn.
So how'd you get it?
Drill bit. Well, one,
Oh, just
We,
I mean, yeah, you don't really
for one,
need it.
we had to cut the barb off the pump because it would never go over there. Not even close. Once we cut the barb off, it still would not slide on there.
Holy shit.
Like it takes 1,000 PSI to blow this line. Well, 1,000 PSI probably times like 4 to blow it.
Yeah.
Some ridiculous
Still.
safety capacity.
Yeah.
So to try to stress it over something, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
So we had to drill the end of the hose out with a drill bit to like slowly open it up until it finally fit onto the pump.
Yeah.
And then put 2 hose clamps on it because fuck it, it's not coming off.
Yeah.
hopefully.
Well, that's absolute overkill.
Yeah.
I think you'll be.
It could be a fucking piece of air hose or fuel. Anything.
Literally anything. Yeah.
But it's like, well, I'm getting hoses made. Conveniently, every single fitting on this truck is -6 JIC.
Oh, nice.
I had to get one adapter to turn the pump into that, but the fluid cooler was already -6.
Yep.
The pump and box were already -6 converted. So I'm like, well, fuck it. I'll get the same hoses. Everything will work out great. And they had tall 90s and short 90s for the box.
Yeah.
Made life so much easier. Because I was going to do like a 45 to get over this one
Yeah.
and tuck under. Like,
Yeah.
Weird ass fittings.
he's like, I got these ones. I'm like, oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, that's perfect. That way they don't run into each other.
Yeah. And yeah, so let me go to the next picture. This will show you my autism in function. this.
That was the rough
fucking love
idea.
it.
So this is me the day before I was going to go. This is
Snapchat, I'm pretty sure.
no, this is actually on the Samsung photo editor. It
okay.
looks like it though, doesn't it?
Yeah, the colors and stuff do. But yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I need to get 3 hoses made. I need to figure out how long they are, what fittings to put on them. So I just took a piece of like fuel line hose, kind of route it roughly, cut it to length, kind of fine tune it and guess stuff. And I'm like, well, now I need to know which hoses they are and what they do. So I'm like, okay, take a picture. And I'm like drawing the hoses to make sense of it. Because you go to the counter and you're like, hey, turn these hoses into this. He's like, the fuck?
yeah,
do you
he
mean?
doesn't know what
mean?
you're working
Yeah.
on, so he's just clueless.
Yeah. And if you normally when you get a hydraulic hose made, you go, here's the one that leaks.
Yeah.
Here's the one
Make
that
a
we
new one.
blew. I need this one.
At most, maybe make it an inch or 2 shorter or
Yeah.
longer,
Yeah,
whatever,
make it like
just
an
to make
inch
it
longer
easier
for
for
some
you.
flex.
Yeah.
The problem is like when you crimp hydraulic fittings, the fitting will never rotate ever. So if they're off plane,
Yeah.
you can't flex it enough to turn it all the way. Like the fitting come out of the box is straight. The one on the pump sticks up and down. So they need to be keyed 90 degrees off of each other.
Yeah.
So this is how I kind of interpreted all that stuff of like, okay, like this line's this one. I was writing on the lines like what fittings they need and where they go.
Yeah.
And he's like, wow. He's like, you actually like did
Thought this
Well,
out.
you don't want to spend your money twice.
Yeah, I don't
he'll gladly make as many hoses
Yeah.
as you want.
Yeah, I don't want to waste his time. I'm just like, here. I'm like, they're all written on here. 3 hoses was like $188 or something. I'm like, fucking right. Like, perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
I think that's all I've got for pictures of this. But after that, we started bleeding the steering, and it actually started to bleed pretty nicely. I just like filled the pump up, ran the steering back and forth a couple times. It kind of bubbled some air. Started it. By time it started, it already drained the whole pump.
Oh yeah, because you started moving or spinning the
soon
pump
as it-
fast, and it sucked all the
As
fluid
soon
out.
as it starts spinning, it would just drain that thing. So we would like fill it up, start it, and then immediately turn it off over and over, and it would just keep pulling fluid. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that pump moves a lot. I was really
Damn.
impressed with that. So
I'm surprised you just didn't take the fuse out of your fuel pump and just
just
crank it.
I thought that truck starts so fucking
It
fast.
does.
Like it will start on like the first half of a crank. It's stupid. I don't know why. It's almost like annoying sometimes. Like, oh, I'm just gonna crank it. Like, you're like it's running now.
Oh fuck!
Running with an empty pump. So I believe Michael's at home today putting the tie rod and drag link on it because we couldn't cycle it with that on there because it was all painted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't wanna,
Oh,
like get all wet and fucking trying to line it up. So
Right.
he made it sound like he was gonna try to cycle that today. That'll get the fluid through the ram and get everything moving.
Yeah.
The ram would move a little bit without the drag link on there. When you hit the end of the box, it would create pressure and then push the ram out. So it is at least moving. We got the lines on the right way the first time.
Yeah.
We took the blowgun and put it into the high pressure on the box. And when you turn the wheel, you could feel like a little like poof out of one of the lines. So we're like, if I put them on backwards, it's probably fine. Then it's undo them and move them back. But they're underneath every other line in there. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck it. We'll test some stuff, get it lined up. It actually went pretty easy. So in theory, he's at home today getting those all bled out. If not
Nice.
tomorrow, I'll go over there and do it.
Yeah, are you working tomorrow?
At work tomorrow or
Yes.
at home? I'll be
At-
at work tomorrow, yes.
Well, I'm fucking off, so I ain't got nothing better
You're
to
always,
fucking do.
you're always fucking off.
Yeah, yeah.
Got him. But yeah, he was supposed to do that tonight. Or I'm like, if you're home, do it. If not, I'll do it Friday. But so either way, I think I should be good to go. Everything kind of feels like it's coming together. Everything's working. Nothing's not spraying fluid out of anything. All the hoses were made. Everything seems to be pretty good. So
Nice.
Good.
so if he gets that stuff put on today, he's probably I haven't gotten a Snapchat from him, so I doubt he's doing it then because I figured he would like put it together, like put it on the ground and turn the tires.
Yeah.
It would either like blow fluid out or it would work. So I'm assuming he hasn't done that today, which is fine. I don't expect him to like, hey, you worked all day, like work on my stuff when I'm not there. So
Right.
so tomorrow I'll probably have to knock that out. So
Gotcha.
but on the bright side, everything seems to be pretty good.
Oh, are you
Good.
working Saturday?
No.
Okay.
Well, I might. So I have my sister's dog.
Yeah.
She is coming home Saturday at some point.
Okay.
So I was planning on waiting until she gets back here so I can give her the dog back and then leave.
Okay. Yeah. So
you-
like maybe till noon. I might have to go out
She said,
myself.
she said it'd be afternoon probably.
Okay. Yeah.
So you might have to leave earlier than I do,
Okay.
hypothetically.
Okay. That's fine.
But actually, let me.
I mean, I can go down and bug Steve all day.
Yeah,
just hang out in Rantoul.
Just go
and
spend
then-
the day in Rantoul.
Yeah.
Fun fact: there's a PepsiCo distributor right by Rantoul. So if you want like bulk like Pepsi products,
Oh, really?
You can just go there like a pallet of fucking something.
Like your Mountain Dew.
Would have been
energy.
good to know that before they discontinued it. Yeah.
Shit.
Let me share one more picture with the laptop real quick. 'Cause I just saw it and thought it was kind of funny. So it's like I have a Ford Ranger that I tow with.
Ford fucking Ranger.
And I'm like, I'm probably kind of right at the towing capacity limit. So I'm just like,
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
somebody like posted today. They're like, who's towed the most? And I'm like, perfect. I wanted to see this anyway.
Yeah.
This.
So this is just gonna be the
fucking
thread
dude.
of.
Oh,
Oh,
So
the squat.
for reference, my truck's a single cab F350. This guy is towing a crew cab dually
Diesel.
F350 diesel
Yeah.
for 1,730 miles with his Ranger.
Jesus.
Like, I'm like, okay. I'm like,
That truck is all of 6,500 pounds.
oh, easily.
Not to mention the trailer, so he's well over 9.
Assuming that's a PJB5 or something, somewhere in that general
Yeah.
range. Like,
Christ,
Yeah, he's
the
over
light-
9.
On the light side, that trailer's like 3
His is
to
also
35.
his truck is also a super cab, cab and a half, so
Yeah.
it's not rated for as much as yours.
It's probably got a
surely.
long bed. This has a long bed where mine's got a short bed, so it's the same
okay.
wheelbase roughly.
Okay, I didn't know if the towing
thought they were the
package of it was,
same.
They're the same.
different.
They're both
Oh, okay,
7,500, but
Yeah.
still,
Okay.
like, I'm like, I'm gonna be getting close to it, and I'm like, oh, let me take a look. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So apparently they'll just fucking do it. Like,
Yeah.
it's a F-150
Hey,
transmission.
It
so
can tow anything. It's just the stopping that's the problem. I would pull this setup with the Blue Ranger because it will move it.
Do you want me to find the video
Stopping
of the,
it?
of the-
Stop it.
You want me to find the video of the Blue Ranger pulling a school bus? 'Cause
Exactly.
It's
it
done.
will do it. It will physically pull it, but stopping it is the way bigger like probability.
Got to throw
Yeah.
the cinder blocks with ropes out the back and pray to God
Yeah.
that's enough.
You need a parachute, and it probably won't even open fully because you'll be doing 20 mile an hour. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of fully stopping, I broke down and adjusted the trailer brakes the other night when I was
Oh,
doing
yeah.
the toolbox stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're impossible to adjust because the adjuster is blocked by the axle because they're
Yes.
drop axles. So I took the drums off, turned the adjuster, put the drums back on, took it back off, adjusted it, put it back on for like half an hour
Oh, I'm sure.
to get the brakes roughly set.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
fingers crossed.
Did you
I
like
don't-
not take it around the block after you did that?
Fuck
to
no,
try?
it's dark.
Fuck
It's dark and I'm
no.
tired.
It's fine.
Understandable.
I mean, they
Understandable.
work. It's just I don't want them.
Oh, you probably. I forgot you have a fucking forklift here. You didn't even move it into the
No, fuck no.
shop with your truck.
I
That's-
didn't-
Yeah, see, I don't have that option. So if I had to adjust trailer brakes, I
Oh,
would have
yeah.
had to hook up my truck and be like, well, I might as well go test it. You're like, oh, pull it in, pull it out, done.
I didn't even move the truck and trailer out of the driveway that was blocking the door. I just got it. I like wiggled it behind it just
Yeah.
barely. I'm like,
Yeah.
the key's in it. I
Understandable.
could just move it. But I'm like,
But no.
I got
But
a
why
fork-
would you when you have a forklift?
I got a
Right.
forklift. Moving trailers with a forklift is a fucking joy.
It's so
Cannot
much
be
better.
beat.
Yeah.
You can just fucking swing it in a circle and push it around. So nice. Well, fuck. Okay,
Nice.
so
All right.
So you're pretty well done.
I think I'm pretty well dialed in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anything that would stop me from being able to go,
Yeah.
other than the dog.
Dog.
He's
Yeah.
just hanging out.
Also, I need to double check on the accommodations.
Yes.
And that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'll talk to them tomorrow, get it kind of ready to go. I'll put it under. I'm going to tell them that you're paying for it, basically.
Right. So
Um,
if you're gonna go before me,
Mhm.
I wouldn't be there till after they close.
I take your credit card.
That's what I'm wondering is if you just take my card,
Yeah.
and that's probably
I should
the
still have
easiest.
$1,000 on my credit card if needed, but
I love how
yeah.
should is in there.
well,
Maybe, but yeah, I mean, I would be fine with that.
or actually, this one I can check. I have mobile on the one card.
Isn't mobile banking just so fucking
It-
nice?
Yeah, I can't believe I went however many years. It's fucking. I'd have to go to the ATM and check
Holy
my balance.
fuck.
And shit.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I
The amount of times we'd be on the way home from dinner. it's like,
from
hey, can you
from
swing through the ATM?
2016 or no? When did I get my debit card? I got my debit card 2012.
Jesus.
No, 2013 probably. Yeah, 2013.
yeah.
Freshman year, I'm assuming is when I got it.
Yeah.
From 2013 until 2019.
At least.
Like, were you afraid that it costed money? to
No,
have
I
it?
just
Like,
was too busy. I was just
didn't.
fuck it. I don't need online banking. And I tried to set it up the one time, and they asked for a whole bunch of information I didn't have like
Yeah.
at the time. So I'm like,
Yeah, like you do
fuck
when
it,
you're
I'll wait. Like, I'll
when you're
find another
adjusting
time.
your banking information. You know, like all your like name and social security and stuff.
Yeah, it was. They needed like the routing number, and I didn't know what it was for Granville Bank, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like I'll do it some other time. It took me like 3 or 4 years to actually get it done.
It's
Yeah.
mobile banking. So
Now I have my one credit card on an app, and I pay my bill on that app most of the time, and
so
Badass.
fun.
it's crazy. I'm in the 21st century.
Yeah,
Shit.
that's what I'm maintaining now at my bank.
You're the mobile banking rep.
Yeah.
Hell
Sick.
yeah.
Are you officially moved now, or no? I
Um,
saw you were there yesterday.
They haven't announced it at work, but yeah,
Okay.
I'm officially there.
Well,
now.
you just announced it. Congrats.
Yeah.
So now I'll hit the
Well,
rev.
no, my coworkers, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'll just hit the rev limiter every time I drive past in town. Now,
That's fine.
just he'll be like looking around. Oh, I think I know who drove by.
There he is again.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
that sounds like a Subi.
He drove past 13 times today. I don't know what he's doing.
I actually did
He's
drive.
just going around the block.
Yeah.
I did drive uptown. I drove around. I went to Granville today.
Mhm.
Holy shit! I did a lot of driving today,
You drove
and I
to
didn't do
Granville
anything.
just to check your balance on the ATM.
No, I had to deposit a check actually.
You can do that from most mobile
You
banking.
can
I
do that in
can't.
mobile
I can
banking.
only do a pay stub check. I cannot do a personal
What?
check on Granville. Granville
Granville
is
sucks then.
it's
'cause,
the
yeah,
stupidest fucking. Yeah, they're dumb.
that's so weird.
Brother, open an account with me.
I need to, especially now that you work up there. I'll be able to like go up and bullshit with you all the time. Yeah, you're not wrong.
It's so great because it can be slow there. So like if you want to just fuck around for
Oh,
an
yeah,
hour,
absolutely.
we could.
You just hang out, listen to 106.1 and make you feel old.
yeah.
Shit, I forgot to talk to my music guy about that today.
Yeah. What the fuck is Hey Ya by Outkast doing on there?
It's oldies.
I mean, granted, it would be great because I want to know like
It
the
is
average boomer
probably
listening to that
18 or 20
station.
years old though.
Like you'll be hearing Margaritaville, you know, like every 60,
Based.
70-year-old wants to hear that. But then they hear Outkast, and I want to hear them fuming.
It's
Mostly
the same.
because, you know, it's rap. And, you know,
Allegedly.
they don't like that.
kind of.
Hey,
I should look into the analytics on the stream
you can just see,
and
I
just
need to
see
know.
the age
see
gap
like the
dive.
dip whenever it plays something like Nick would enjoy.
Yeah.
Fucking hate it here. Anyway, let's get out of here. I'm
Yeah,
tired.
it's
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.